Star Preps Walkthrough. Powered by Coker Rental Company. The Walkthrough delivers important pregame news, breakdowns of the week's biggest matchups, and more from the teams and players you spend your fall Friday nights cheering for.
Are you ready for some football?
We're ready for some football, baby.
Now, join us as our host, Jesse Smithey, and the rest of the 5-Star Preps team deliver the most comprehensive high school football coverage in East Tennessee. It's time for the 5-Star Preps Walkthrough.
Welcome in, everybody, to Week 6 of the high school football season. You are now tuned in to the Walkthrough presented by Coker Rentals. We are prepared for rivalry week. That's always hard for me to say. Big games on tap this week. Of course, last night, Bearden and Farragut. All that recapped on 5starpreps.com. But tonight, more rivalry games on the way. We're going to get to all that in a minute. Let's set the table real quick on tonight's show on the Walkthrough. What we got going on, we're going to take a rewind, look back into Week 5, talk about some of the big games, the big players, some of the surprise moments of that week. We've had coaching changes, like shakeups. Not really changes, but just coaching news earlier this week. We'll talk about that. We have highlights from last week, our player of the week interview that sets up the CAK web matchup tonight. We'll preview all of Week 6. We'll get into our Waffle House segment, which I know you guys love. Shout out to everybody who participates with that on Instagram, and much more. Brought to you by Coker Rentals. Make sure you check them out. Rentcoker.com, COKER.com. Excavators, loaders, mulchers, pressure washers, skid steers, lifts, so much more, dumpsters, everything you can need. You got some type of project going on at your house, at your place of business, make sure you give them a shout. Coker Rentals up there in North Knoxville, Raccoon Valley Road, Clinton Highway area. Get on their website. You'll see everything that they can offer you. Amenities, pricing sheets, so much more. All right, taking a look back at Week 5. Got my list here in front of me. Bearden gets a big win, 41-9 over Hardin Valley. Gets that region win. Jaheim Merriweather went down with an injury early in that game. It kind of kept him out. Precautionary reasons. Jason Thompson picked up the slack, had over 170 yards rushing and a few touchdowns in that game. CAK, 65-51 win over Lakeway. What? 116 points combined in a game? Just an unbelievable showcase of offense last week. CAK, Aiden Trout, the quarterback, we'll talk with him later on the show, had a big night, but big win for CAK, and they take on rival Webb this Friday night in Week 6. Oddly scheduled game, Greenville 27 over Morristown West 21. That was on Tuesday of this week, was supposed to be in Week 5, but lingering effects from Week 4 weather kind of pushed their schedule all kind of out of awry, I should say, not array. Pushed them out of whack, and so Greenville holds on 27-21 over Morristown West. Got off to a 20-0 lead in that game. Morristown West battled back, made some big plays on the defensive front, got a turnover there late in the game. Just could not put together that game-winning drive up in Greenville. Catholic 49-24 over Briarcrest. Big night by Jaden Neal, the quarterback at Catholic, who congratulations to Jaden Neal. He is the school's all-time leading passer. He's just a junior, halfway through his junior year. So his record, barring injury, might be over 8,000 or 9,000 yards. I mean, it could be whatever he wants it to be. And if they can make a deep run in the playoffs 1 or 2 years, I mean, he could probably push it up to close to 10,000. So Jaden Neal been starting since he was a freshman at Catholic. Big win over Briarcrest. And look, that's not a region game for Catholic, but it was against a Division II AAA team. And we've talked on this show and on our website about how Catholic, on the whole, since 2019, has struggled against teams from Division II AAA. And so Briarcrest comes all the way over to Memphis, and Catholic absolutely puts it on them. Braylon Harmon had a huge night. Tyreek King got in the end zone a couple times, did his normal thing. So all in all, a big W for Catholic last week, but bigger games are on the way. The region games that they need to win are on the way on the back half of this season. But they're in a much better position this year, I think, confidence-wise and ability-wise, going into that cauldron of games. Hall's 42-7 win over Carter in week 5. The defense at Hall's just continues to perplex opponents, to dominate opponents. I think they're only averaging around 6 to 7 points per game allowed this year. They have a huge litmus test this week against Powell. We'll get into that in a moment. Webb, 33-0 over Chattanooga Christian School. This is a Chattanooga Christian School. Program is really good. We talked on the program a week ago about they had a running back who ran for over 300 yards against Grace Christian in week 2. And Webb just blanks them 33-0. So we'll have an interview coming up with Webb football coach Don Mahoney on the program tonight, so that you don't want to miss that. West continues to roll. I didn't see 53-0. Last week, I thought it might be a tight game. You're coming off the Maryville win. Central has some guys on its defense that can kind of get physical, disrupt the pass game a little bit. 53-0. And that's with Marshawn Bowers getting hurt early in the game. Of course, Marshawn Bowers, a senior running back from West, who's had a phenomenal year. You take him out and West still doesn't miss a beat. This West program, y'all, I'm telling you, is to that point where it's kind of reaching that apex where year and year and year after year after year after year, they just continue to reload. It doesn't matter who they graduate. They're not at Alcoa Maryville level yet, like Maryville was in the 2000s, 2010s. It's too small of a sample size, I think, for that right now. But they're showing trends of that. They're showing signs of being that type of program. And that starts with Lamar Brown. It goes down to the feeder programs and everybody in that community. So, yeah, West, 53-0 over Central. Get a drink here. Maryville bounces back 37-18 after losing a couple games there. 37-18 win over Science Hill. Maryville gets another player hurt. They've lost Casey Cobble, their starting quarterback. They've lost Gage Ledoux, their starting running back, Air Force commit guy. Probably was going to be in the mix for Mr. Football, at least in the conversation. Then Price Davis is their backup running back. He gets a hand injury in that game against Science Hill. I mean, I don't know what to tell you, Maryville.
Endless hold times and that user-friendly website can just add to your frustrations when you need business to run on time. Your contact who is just a phone call away doesn't turn out to be so available after all. Best Logistics Group puts you first. When our team promises we can handle that, you can count on us to be there when you need us, not just when it's convenient. To put an end to your supply chain headaches, just remember there's Best Logistics Group.
Technology has certainly made everyone better, but it's the people that separate the good from the best.
When you shop at Elliott's, your journey is our purpose.
North Knox Siding and Windows is a complete exterior home improvement company that can help you with all your exterior needs. Visit us today at 5618 North Broadway.
Welcome back to the walkthrough. Jesse Smithey here with 5 Star Preps. Make sure you're going to 5 Star Preps. We've got a lot of stuff coming up. Soccer postseason coverage, golf postseason coverage, volleyball postseason coverage. We've got some big cross-country events coming up. We'll have it all covered on 5starpreps.com. Scores, schedules, recaps, photo galleries, and so much more. 5starpreps.com. Now in our 6th year. Can you believe it? Been a fun ride to build this into what it is now. All right. We're not quite done taking a look back at week 5 yet. We had some awesome video guys out in the fields last week. Here is our mashup video highlights from week 5 presented by SmartBank. Awesome video as always. Got great guys out there shooting. Drew Moss helping us out a little bit, mashing that up, editing it and splicing it and getting it all pretty for you guys. And Drew's been doing video and editing work in this area for a couple of years now. One of the best in the business, up and coming guy. So appreciate his help. All right, big surprises from week 5, player-wise. Aiden Plemons, quarterback, McMinn Central, 490 yards, passing 6 touchdowns. Those are school records, and he had 490 like early in the game against Sweetwater. I mean, they blew Sweetwater out. Had it been a tighter game, I mean, he could have gone for 550, 600, maybe 7 or 8 passing touchdowns. But nevertheless, Aiden Plemons got up for Player of the Week, didn't get enough votes, came close, but still 490 yards, 6 touchdowns. That was a surprise. Nobody saw that coming. All right, I might butcher this dude's name. Ori Vananda Walker. Maryville running back, came in for the injured Price Davis, who I told you about in the last segment. 126 yards on the ground, 3 touchdowns in that win over Science Hill. Another running back in the area, Nick Schroth, Northview Academy, 18 carries, 199 yards, 2 touchdowns. Wharton had been their leading rusher this year, so Nick coming in with 200 on the ground, that was a little bit of a surprise in week 5. And then finally, 8 touchdowns in one game, 8, 5 passing, 2 rushing, 1 receiving. He threw for 361 yards, 25 of 30, almost perfect, 25 of 30 for 361, 8 total touchdowns. Aiden Trout, the quarterback from CAK, was our final surprise player of the week. He ends up winning Smith Built Homes Player of the Week. All you guys casted votes for him. Shout out to you for getting on there and supporting your dude from CAK. So we went out to CAK this week, presented him his trophy, and did this interview with Aiden Trout. Hope you enjoy it. Aiden, first off, congratulations on winning Player of the Week. 8 total touchdowns last week. And just what does this honor feel like for you?
It's a good feeling, man, but I can't take any of the credit. I mean, it starts up front with the offensive line. You know, they got to do their job for me to get the ball out. Then my receivers are making plays. I mean, that's what it comes down to. Running backs making their blocks, making their reads, doing everything. It all goes to them. I mean, I just deliver the ball. I mean, it just so happened that ended up occurring, but everybody did their job, and that's ultimately how that happened. So
8 total touchdowns. I mean, that's just like a dream game. And you were telling me the other day you didn't realize you had that many, right?
Yes, sir.
Just when did you become aware of what you did?
Well, I mean, it was kind of after the game. My dad came up to me and just was like, "Were you keeping up with your stats?" And I go, "No, sir." I was like, I mean, obviously it's a good game. I mean, Lakeway was a pretty well built team. They had some athletes, and we ended up coming back and winning. And he said, "Do you know how many you had?" And I said, "No, sir." And he's like, "You had 8." I said, "What?" So I mean, it's a cool experience for sure.
We have quarterbacks on the show. I always ask them like how they came into being a quarterback. Is that a position you played kind of coming up through the ranks, or?
It was on and off. I played a little bit, or I started off with quarterback, did some receiver, played defense. I've been all around, but quarterback ultimately, I think it was middle school when I really decided like, hey, that's it. I kind of want, this is when I want to do it, So started training really in middle school, training hard, and then ultimately ended up here. So
big game this week with Webb and rivalry game. And how do you guys handle emotions, but also kind of going about your business and making sure you execute?
Well, it's as we're saying, our theme is others first. So we got to put each other before, others first. That's exactly how it's said. So we got to do our job, do our responsibility. Webb's a good team. There's no doubt about that. 5-0. They've had a great start, but we've got to do our job, our responsibility, and ultimately we hope to end up in a win. So we just got to do our job as a team.
The 5-Star Preps Player of the Week is proudly presented by Smith Built Homes, East Tennessee's most trusted home builders since the 1950s. Smith Built dedicates themselves to producing a home that owners, their families, and neighbors can be proud of for generations to come.
Endless hold times and that user-friendly website can just add to your frustrations when you need business to run on time. Your contact who is just a phone call away doesn't turn out to be so available after all. Best Logistics Group puts you first. When our team promises we can handle that, you can count on us to be there when you need us, not just when it's convenient. To put an end to your supply chain headaches, just remember there's Best Logistics Group.
Technology has certainly made everyone better, but it's the people that separate the good from the best.
When you shop at Elliott's, your journey is our purpose.
North Knox Siding and Windows is a complete exterior home improvement company that can help you with all your exterior needs. Visit us today at 5618 North Broadway.
Welcome back into the walkthrough. And again, congratulations, Aiden Trout, quarterback at CAK. A big game against Webb tonight. We'll talk about that in a minute. But let's dig into week 6. Not a ton of marquee games, but 4 or 5 really, really good ones. A rivalry game. But let's start with William Blount. Who would have thought at this point in the year, going into week 6, that William Blount would have been relevant, given what happened with them last year? But they are very, very much relevant. Dropped their first game a week ago to Westridge. Could have won that game, but a pivotal region game for them tonight against Science Hill. And talking with Brett Cortez, the quarterback at William Blount, who has had 11 total touchdowns combined these last 2 weeks. The dude's getting it done on the ground. He's getting it done in the air. They are confident that they can put up points on this Science Hill team that Maryville just beat and a few others have beaten. This isn't your typical power Science Hill team. They're beatable. They're susceptible. William Blount believes. And man, I'm turning into a William Blount believer. I'm not saying they're going to go win state or anything, but I'm picking them to win this week. Shocker. I know, right? I mean, in years past, seeing a Science Hill William Blount game for predictions, you just immediately Sharpie in Science Hill. That's not the case anymore. Anderson County at Carter, a big-time region game. Anderson County has not lost a league game since 2016. Carter reeling a little bit, has taken a few on the chin here recently. Halls beat them last week, and this is an opportunity for them to kind of get back into position, get that winning feeling back. So neither one of these teams wants to drop this region game. It's not a rivalry game, but it's going to be fun. A lot of offense, touchdowns, long throws, all-purpose backs everywhere, doing a little bit of everything. Fun game out in Strawberry Plains. All right, let's get to the rivalry games. Oak Ridge at Clinton. Clinton has not won this football game in quite some time, and Oak Ridge goes into it without its head coach, Derek Rang. Remember, suspended against McMinn County a week ago. Joe Gaddis, a legendary head coach, athletic director now at Oak Ridge, fills in this week for Derek Rang. Again, he knows the players, he knows the philosophies, the strategies, everything that Oak Ridge has done. He's been there on the sidelines all year. So I don't think Oak Ridge will skip a beat in that regard, but they need to start pumping out numbers from the past game. It was tough a week ago for them to do that. Clinton, some of its best players are back there in its secondary. So something will have to give there. Oh, we all know Clinton's got athletes. Everybody knows that. Josh Keith at quarterback, 4-year starter. Jawan Goins, an absolute monster of a tailback. Damon Marable, you can use him on offense or defense. I can go on and on and on. Oak Ridge is going to have to disrupt Clinton at the line of scrimmage. That's where Clinton's weakness is, and I'm not trying to talk bad about high school kids or whatever, but that's just the tale of the tape. Oak Ridge has an advantage at the line of scrimmage against Clinton, and that's where they're going to have to attack. So we'll see how it plays out. That game is at Clinton, by the way. Oak Ridge has just kind of dominated that series. See how it goes. Powell at Halls. Halls has had some recent success over Powell. Actually beat them 3 years in a row from 2014 to 2016. 2018, I think they got a forfeit win from Powell, but Powell goes into this game with a little bit of confidence. They've won their last couple games. They're running the football extremely well. We're starting to see Steven Souls come about. The first couple of games, he didn't really have a lot of tackles for loss or sacks, but that's changing. He's getting way more productive, way more active. But we all know Hall's strength: offensive line, defensive line, and then that complementary skill position groups that they have. So going to be a fun matchup to watch in the trenches. I know when you go to games, it's just fun to watch the ball. You follow the ball wherever it goes, but make a concerted effort to watch Steven Souls, number 6, I believe, for Powell, go up against Hall's offensive line. Just make your eyes watch that for an extra second and then go pick up wherever the ball was handed off to or thrown to. I think you'll appreciate the battle a little bit more in that game. And then finally, Webb at CAK. Webb has had a little bit of a struggle with CAK the last few years. Cooper Cameron 2 years ago had that pick 6 return to beat CAK at CAK just by a point or two. Last year, Webb was supposed to whack CAK, but it was a good game for 2.5, 3 quarters. Webb finally kind of put him away, but the margin of victory wasn't what we thought it was going to be. So expect another good one. CAK averaging 55 points per game in their 3 wins this year. Webb defense not allowing that much at all, just a shade under maybe 7 a game, something like that. So it's matching up to be a fun game out there at CAK on Friday night. When we get back from our break, we're going to talk with Webb football coach Don Mahoney about how he goes about rivalry weeks, what he thinks about CAK, what his journey from college football into high school football has been like, and so much more. So don't go anywhere. When we come back on the walkthrough, Webb football coach Don Mahoney previewing that Webb at CAK rivalry game.
Endless hold times and that user-friendly website can just add to your frustrations when you need business to run on time. Your contact who is just a phone call away doesn't turn out to be so available after all. Best Logistics Group puts you first. When our team promises we can handle that, you can count on us to be there when you need us, not just when it's convenient. To put an end to your supply chain headaches, just remember there's Best Logistics Group.
Technology has certainly made everyone better, but it's the people that separate the good from the best.
When you shop at Elliott's, your journey is our purpose.
North Knox Siding and Windows is a complete exterior home improvement company that can help you with all your exterior needs. Visit us today at 5618 North Broadway.
Welcome back to the walkthrough. We are getting ready to hear from Webb coach Don Mahoney. One more reminder to check out rentcoker.com for all your commercial or residential project needs: excavators, loaders, pressure washers, skid steers, dumpsters, lifts, a little bit of everything. Check them out, rentcoker.com. All right, Webb and CAK has kind of become that private school rivalry that we used to enjoy with Webb and Catholic. Hopefully somewhere down the line, Webb and Catholic's administration can get together, get that rivalry game back on the schedule. We're starting to see it come back with basketball. But in the meantime, we have Webb versus CAK football, and it's been some good games. The rivalry has produced some good games over the last few years. And we're on tap for, another one's on tap for this Friday night. So we've heard from Aiden Trout already, the CAK quarterback. Let's hear from Don Mahoney, first-year head football coach at Webb School of Knoxville. Don, big week with CAK. It's rivalry game. I'm sure you've been a part of all kinds of rivalries. Just how are you gone about preparing the kids this week emotionally and mentally?
You know, it's been the approach we've taken this year with each week, we focus on ourselves. And I've said that to them in that we have a large group of seniors, a team that's really being led by them that's doing an exceptional job at that, and that we got to make sure we control what we focus on with getting better at things from one week to the next, be it details, be it eliminating penalties, ball security, whatever it is, but it's been just focusing on us. And, you know, I know that sounds like coach's speech, but it's the reality. It's us taking care of ourselves, getting better, each position group, each side of the ball, and special teams.
So when you go into a rivalry game, and whether it's high school, college, do you approach it based on the temperament of your team? Because I'm sure sometimes you got to press a button or two.
Yeah, I mean, last year was my first go with this game itself, the rivalry that goes into it. The players know us, we know them, and it was one in which it was it didn't take me long to figure out just how heated it is at the start of the game, how well CAK played, how well that they were emotionally and their passion was there, and we actually were not playing at our best. And again, it gets back to focusing on ourselves, that it can't be a game of emotion. It's got to be a game of passion and execution. And that's really been the big focus. But you always get excited about these, and it never really matters what the record is of either team. I'm sure you're aware of it, but there's so much excitement that goes into these type of games and what makes high school football so exciting.
It seems like CAK is starting to kind of find a little confidence. They've got some players back. What have you guys seen on film out of them the last couple of weeks that kind of caught your concern?
A lot of points.
Yeah.
You know, they've really, and you're right, they've caught stride, scoring points, being able to distribute the ball in different areas of the field. Defensively extremely active with the number of hats that are near the box, their ability to tackle in space. And they're collectively hitting on all strides at the right time. So we're well aware of that. But again, as I told the team, 65 points, that's hard to score on air. So that's something that's definitely got our attention, and rightfully so, and all due respect to them.
On your side, I mean, you guys are playing well as well. And last week was, I think, a real litmus test for where Webb is at the midpoint of the season. What are you liking about your team right now, and maybe still some area of concern?
Yeah, I liked how fast we started. I still am not pleased with the details, which was a major point of emphasis on Monday, and it was really, offensively speaking, at all levels, be it up front first to just details at the running back position, really all of it, from our splits, our alignments, a course maybe as a running back, as good as Jack has played as late, there's checkdowns, there's the routine throws that need to be made. So we all need to continue to look at that. I think when you win, you sweep things under the rug and just say we're okay. And I believe it's my
endless hold times and that user-friendly website can just add to your frustrations when you need business to run on time. Your contact who is just a phone call away doesn't turn out to be so available after all. Best Logistics Group puts you first. When our team promises we can handle that, you can count on us to be there when you need us, not just when it's convenient. To put an end to your supply chain headaches, just remember there's Best Logistics Group.
Technology has certainly made everyone better, but it's the people that separate the good from the best.
When you shop at Elliott's, your journey is our purpose.
North Knox Siding and Windows is a complete exterior home improvement company that can help you with all your exterior needs. Visit us today at 5618 North Broadway.
Welcome back to the walkthrough, final segment of the show. That means it's Waffle House time. The Waffle House Who's Eating segment. Put the logo up on the screen. Make sure you're popping out to a Waffle House on Friday nights, maybe Thursday night after your high school football game. Get you a late night breakfast waffle or pancakes, breakfast sandwich, or maybe you just need a burger or something, Waffle House is your spot on Friday nights. We throw it up on Instagram each and every year. I'm kind of going to my social media desk here as I talk. We put it on Instagram each week around Wednesday. Say, hey, who's eating? Lets us know. You drop your player prediction below, and we're going to read out some of the best ones. Looks like we got some more. Will Spill 1 at Will Spill 1 from Webb School of Knoxville. Cooper Cameron shouting out teammate Will Spiller. Little guy right now, but who knows? We'll get that. We'll see if he pops up and gets on the varsity playing time much more as the years come on. Reek 7 says Jason Thompson. That's Thursday night's game against Bearden. Whitman Whaley, standout at Gatlinburg-Pittman, nominates his teammate Tegan Avera, one of the more electrifying running backs in East Tennessee. Love watching that guy play. Bryson Val chimes in. Tradition now at Bennett_Campbell. Just trust me on this one. Go with Bennett Campbell. I mean, Bennett Campbell always eats. We just know that every single week. So we'll see what Bennett Campbell does out in Strawberry Plains on Friday night. Let's keep scrolling a little bit. We got Colton Jones. We got Isaac Shelby. Another Will Spill 1. Another Isaac Shelby. Number 9. The Alleyway 19 says at number 9. That is Jawan Goins, I believe, from Clinton High School. Sometimes hard to know who these people are. More Will Spill, more Tegan Avera. Let's check it out some more. Thank you guys so much for coming in. Dom Culp coming in from Halls High School. We got his nomination down. Joshua Keith, just the quarterback at Clinton, just started nominating all kinds of players from his team. Jawan Goins, Chauncey Felts, Jeremiah, Jason Graham, so many more. Derek Bean, kind of an underrated defensive back. Mr. Milk 1029 says Maddox Cup, the quarterback at South Doyle. Riley Spoden 16 says Eli Owens, the big tight end out at Alcoa. Of course, he eats basically every Friday night. And let's get one more. Let's get one more good one. Get one more good one here. Luke Tidwell from Gibbs says Boone Brockwell. Dude has been killing it this year, running back from Gibbs High School. So we'll see how Boone does on Friday night. So many more to kind of scroll through there on Instagram. Check us out at 5 Star Preps. You'll see the Waffle House logo on the post. Check out all the player predictions on there. You can find stat leaders, videos, photo galleries, so much more. We're not just a website. We're on Twitter. We're on Facebook. We're on YouTube. We're on Threads. We're on Instagram. We're on TikTok. So follow us everywhere. We got a little bit of content in different forms and fashions for you on social media. All right, let's get to our predictions at 5starpreps.com. We posted our predictions on Thursday. Of course, we had the Bearden-Farragut game predicted there. We took Bearden last night. Friday night, Webb at CAK. I got Webb winning 30-14. 30-14. I think CAK just offensively will get some points here and there, but Webb, I think, just might be on a different level than CAK is. Remember, they got a first-year head coach building things there under Chad Speck. We're seeing flashes of what it could be, but Webb, I think, much more put together offensively, defensively, special teams, everything than CAK is right now. But, again, the last few years, it's been close. Oak Ridge, 28. Clinton, 22. This is going to be a tough one for the Wildcats. Again, no Derek Rang. They're coming off of a loss. If they hit some early adversity in that game, they could fall behind 14 points, have to work their way back. I think Oak Ridge does that this Friday night in a tough one against Clinton. It was close a year ago, 28-21 win by Oak Ridge, but I like Oak Ridge to win in week 6, 28-22. Big night from Jarvis Dozier, going ahead and calling that. Powell at Halls. I know Halls is undefeated. I know everything's going right for them. They're 5-0, playing well on offense, playing well on defense. Special teams with Owen Taylor. He's such an amazing kicker / punter. I'm going with Powell, though. I'm going with Powell. 20-17. I'm calling a field goal late by Powell to break the tie, and they get a defensive stand in the last minute of the game and win this football game. I'm sorry, Halls. I know, but I'm going with Powell. I'm going with Powell to win that game. Just Connor Wheeler, I think, will be the best offensive player in that game. I think Powell has the best defensive player in that game with Steven Souls. I just think those two guys right there alone are game changers. And so we'll see. Powell 20, Hall 17. All right, before we go, let's look at next week really quick. It's a huge week next week. I'm so excited about this schedule for week 7. Anderson County at Clinton. That's our Thursday night game. Oakdale at Coalfield. Sneaky good game in 1A. Oakdale's been putting up some ridiculous statistics this year. Bradley Central and Boo Carter come to Knoxville to face Farragut. So if you're wanting to see Tennessee commitment Boo Carter, there's your chance. Morristown West at Jefferson County, old school rivalry game there. Alcoa at West is your marquee matchup. Remember 2 years ago, the double overtime game by Alcoa? You remember last year with Ryan Scott going up, getting that one-handed interception in the end zone to secure the win for West? Alcoa at West, big-time matchup in week 7. Bearden at Maryville. Come on, man. I mean, this schedule just keeps getting better and better. Bearden at Maryville. Carter at Northview Academy, Oak Ridge at Central. All right, focus week 6, rivalry games, but next week, man, is going to be a banger. Thanks so much for joining us tonight on the walkthrough presented by rentcoker.com. Remember to check them out, and we'll see you guys next week in week 7. Enjoy your Friday night of high school football tonight.
Welcome to the 5-Star Preps Walkthrough. Powered by Coker Rental Company. The Walkthrough delivers important pregame news, breakdowns of the week's biggest matchups, and more from the teams and players you spend your fall Friday nights cheering for.
Are you ready for some football?
We're ready for some football, baby.
Now, join us as our host, Jesse Smithey, and the rest of the 5-Star Preps team deliver the most comprehensive high school football coverage in East Tennessee. It's time for the 5-Star Preps Walkthrough.